Welcome back to Histories of Airliners and our current series exploring the airlines that merged to form the modern iteration of British Airways. In this episode, we're diving into the sixth part of our lineup. These airlines are wildcards in that history, known for their unique identities and their significant role in the shaping of British Airways as we know it today. Get ready to uncover the story of the last few airlines that were merged into the modern-day British Airways. While British Airways is now a single entity, it's important to remember that it's a culmination of several airlines with distinct histories and cultures. Each of these airlines brought its own unique flavor, from its fleet of aircraft to its approach to customer service. These individual legacies have shaped British Airways as we know them today, contributing to its strengths and defining its identity. Founded as Cambrian Air Services in 1935 at the Pingham Moors Airfield east of Cardiff, Wales, its main activity was tourist flights and pilot training. This came to a sudden stop in 1939 with the beginning of World War II. This was the first airline to begin flying after the war in 1946, and the airline would begin flying in cooperation with British European Airways. During 1953, Cambrian took over Ali Air Services and Murray Chown Aviation and began services between Southampton to Dinard and Paris. This route was initially served with the de Havilland Dove and later with the Douglas DC-3. In 1956, the name was changed to Cambrian Airways, and BEA took over operations of this airline in 1967, but Cambrian continued to operate independently. In 1974, Cambrian became one of the four component airlines to form the new British Airways Company, and their aircraft were slowly repainted into the red-tailed livery that British Airways adopted at the beginning of their corporation. Northeast Airlines commenced operations in February of 1952 from its base at the Southend Airport as BKS Aerocharter. This airline started with the former RAF Dakota aircraft as they were cheap and in plentiful supply at the time. The next year, the company changed its name to BKS Air Transport. Operations continued to expand in the 1960s and 1970s, with the airline acquiring longer routes and bigger aircraft that included de Havilland Tridents. The final name change came in 1970, with the airline becoming Northeast Airlines. By 1973, this airline and the previously mentioned Cambrian Airways had joined the British Airways Group. With that, the stage was set for Northeast to be merged into the resultant British Airways Corporation, which became complete in 1976. BA Connect was a regional subsidiary of British Airways, founded as a response of deregulation of the UK domestic aviation market. The first company of what would become BA Connect, Cambrian Airways, was incorporated on 26 January of 1970 as Cambrian Aviation Limited. This airline primarily flew out of Plymouth and served the Channel Islands and the Atlantic coast of France. British Airways bought Cambrian Airways in 1993, which serves as the founding date for the BA Connect Corporation. After this purchase, Cambrian Airways' route structure grew till it served from Edinburgh to Paris and Oslo. In 2002, Cambrian was merged with British Regional Airlines, which itself had been formed from the merger of Manx Airlines Loganair and Manx Airline Europe in 1996. This combination of regional airlines formally became City Express in 2003. In 2006, the airline was renamed again to BA Connect, with operations changing from being a regional airline to a low-cost airline. By 2007, British Airways had reached a sale agreement with Flybe, a regional airline based out of Exeter, England. This sale ended the family history between British Airways and BA Connect. After beginning combined operations in 1974, British Airways began consolidating the merged fleets between BOAC and BEA and the other airlines. British Airways also started shuttle services between London and the United Kingdom's other major cities. British Airways also resisted calls from the government to purchase Airbus A300s in favor of Boeing 757 and 737 aircraft types. In 1976, British Airways and its partner Air France began Concorde operations to their far-flung ports of call. In the 1980s, in preparation for privatization, the carrier's routes were reorganized to bring the airline into a profitable form. Over the years, British Airways continued to update their fleet with a mix of American and European aircraft. The Concorde was retired in 2003, and the Queen of the Skies, the Boeing 747-400, of which British Airways was the largest operator of the type, were retired in 2020. In 2019, British Airways celebrated their 100th year of operation since the founding of Aircraft Transport and Travel in 1919, which was the founding company for Daimler Airways, by painting 3 of their 747-400s in either Boat colors, the Negus livery, or in the Landor livery, with an A319 painted in British European Airways final livery. As of 2024, the A319 is the only one of those aircraft still flying. British Airways' history stretches back over a century, with roots in the early airlines like Aircraft Transport and Travel Limited, which launched the first daily international scheduled flight in 1919. These early ventures paved the way for Imperial Airways, formed in the 1920s, which became the British government's primary carrier. World War II led to the creation of BOAC to handle overseas routes, while BEA took charge of European travel. Finally, in 1974, these two giants merged to form British Airways that we know today, which was then privatized in 1987. From its pioneering past to its modern incarnation, British Airways has been a key player in global aviation for over 100 years. And finally, I want to give a big shout out to the website and YouTube channel Yesterday's Airlines for covering this subject and presenting the information in such a way as for me to keep it all straight, because there were times I thought a couple of the early companies went into one direction or the other. Deciding between a YouTube channel membership and a Patreon membership depends on what kind of perks you value. YouTube memberships offer exclusive emojis, badges, and live chat features, fostering a stronger community feel. Patreon, on the other hand, often provides more in-depth content, early access to videos, or even the chance to directly influence a creator's work. Consider if you prioritize community engagement or deeper content creation when making your choice.